Hello, everyone. So we are back today, just before the mentor conference going to start. Something very, very important we needed to discuss about the immigrant's life, and we got in a super amazing speaker for that today. So I'm going to add her in. So we welcome Aneri. Hi, Aneri. How are you? How are you
Hello,
doing?
Nikhil. I'm good. How are you?
All good, Aniri. So I was just talking to the audience and giving them insights that today we are going to discuss a lot about immigrants' life. You know, the kind of hurdles a student would face in their international graduate life and post graduation. What are the things that they should be, planning for so that they don't land up into different kinds of difficult situations and a lot more of those things. So we'll have a lot of discussions on that. And Aneri, I've been following your work. It's been super interesting to understand what you've been doing. But let me give a brief background to the audience about you before we start off this session. So, Aneri Desai is an international career coach who help immigrants and international students stand out in the competitive job market to kickstart their career in corporate America. She hopes to inspire these students to be authentic for themselves, and she has worked herself in three countries like India, UK, and USA, and she has led global teams across the globe. She brings more than 7 years of corporate experience, and that's why she's been successfully guiding thousands of students in getting their next job. She has successfully discovered the key to stand out in the hiring process herself. So let's hear it from Aneri. Hi, Aneri. So I want to understand more from you about your journey. How did you end up in USA and started your venture also and helping students? Can you give a good background about yourself?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me for this event. Can't thank you enough for all the work you and your team, Nikhil, are doing. I'm Aneri Desai. I live in Columbia, South Carolina, in the United States. I did my master's in computer science from India, and 5 years later, 5 years in the degree, I realized that I don't like programming. I don't like coding. I'm not a technical person. So during my bachelor's and master's, I got selected for students exchange program to UK and US, where I did a semester abroad in these two countries and spent time with other students in UK and US and learned more about their culture. So after realizing that I'm not a technical person, and honestly, I didn't even get a job on in campus placement. So I started figuring out what are my other options. How can I pivot from computer science? What else can I do? So thankfully, all the internships that I did in my undergrad and masters, they came really handy. I realized that I'm more of leadership role kind of person. So I decided to do MBA in US because I spent a semester in US and I loved the culture and how friendly people were. So I finally moved to United States 10 years ago. So I came here for my MBA, and I attended the University of Texas at Arlington. And my program was a non-STEM program, so I only had 1 year of OPT, which I didn't think it was a big deal when I was choosing college and program. But things started looking difficult when I actually landed here and tried to navigate my life. Things were extremely challenging in terms of getting internship, putting myself out there and looking for internships and jobs. So long story short, I got rejected 274 times before I got my first job. So that job search process was extremely difficult, just fighting the battle all by myself, not knowing where I was going wrong. I thought I had two master's degree, and I didn't even know why people were not calling me, why companies were not interested in hiring me. So every rejection I got, I kept retrospecting and I kept getting better in my next application. And finally, I got my dream job in an aerospace company who typically doesn't open doors for foreign nationals. So I was those I was in those 1% people who worked in that company with foreign passports. So that's how I started my career in corporate America and spent 8 years. And now I just launched my company just to help international students and immigrants land internships and jobs.
Wow, that's quite a journey. Okay. So, guys, this is going to be a lot of discussion. So, put in all your questions, queries, doubts, any myths or any rumors that you heard that you want to get it clarified in the comments. We'll definitely take this up. So now you've been an international student yourself, Aneri, right? So tell us about the struggle that you faced, and since you've guided hundreds and thousands of students, tell us the struggles that most of the international students face once they're abroad.
Yes. So I had a really good experience. If I have to rate my student life, it's just those small bumps here and there that looked really big as a student. So my intention is to share all the things that went wrong with my international student journey, so you can learn from it and you can avoid it. So number one was, it was really hard for me to get used to of the US education system, because all the most of the tests were like multiple choice tests. There was no right or wrong answer. There was no gray area, like either the answer is right or the answer is wrong. And in India, I was so used to writing like one big page answers, where I'm telling everything I know about the topic and getting points and score. So here, like just picking the right answer was really difficult for me. It was like you need to nail those topics before you walk in that examination hall. So that was my first setback, is not being able to navigate through that education system. They focus a lot on practical knowledge. So okay, you read a topic, but are you able to apply it? Are you able to demonstrate that you know this topic through your projects, class assignments, presentation? So first semester was little rough for me. First of all, I changed from technical background to leadership or management. So first year was little rocky for me, but then everything started falling into place. So one thing I want to tell you is, it will be slightly different than what you may be used to in India, but it's not a major roadblock. You can overcome it quickly. And then another is like lot of limiting beliefs. When I landed in the US, first thing people told me is it's so hard to get job after graduating with MBA degree. It's so hard to get an internship if you are in non-technical background. So all this, I just kept walking with all this weight of other people's limiting beliefs, and I didn't even give my 100% in my internship application. I just gave up even before trying, thinking, yeah, everybody's saying you can't get an internship in MBA, so I'm not going to even try a lot. So I want to tell all the students that you may hear a lot of conflicting advice, but know that not everything you hear is true. You come here and you explore on your own and you figure out your path. You don't have to believe what everything you hear.
Interesting. Okay. So I think this makes a lot of sense, because a lot of students get more misguided, or lose track because of a lot of rumors that they hear in the market. One piece of advice that I'll give to the students is, whatever you hear in the market, do a fact check. Fact check is very, very important. Do not believe or trust because some friend or some community guy have told you this. It's very, very critical. Okay, so now since a lot of students are already there, studying, a lot of students are going to graduate. 2020 has not been a great year. At least 2021 is somewhere improving, right? So how should someone who is studying abroad, should plan for their job hunt right now?
Sure. So, Nikhil, number one misconception that I have been hearing lately is, oh, job market is really bad right now. Oh, there are no jobs. Oh, companies are not hiring international students. So, whoever is listening me right now, I want to reassure you that that's not true. Job market was slightly bad earlier when COVID started. People lost jobs and all, but it's not entirely true that people are not hiring international students. If you Google XYZ jobs in USA. If you Google your title and the location, you'll see pages and pages of openings. So first of all, that mindset that I invite you to have abundance mindset, that there are plenty of jobs available for me. All I need to do is put my best foot forward and show the world what I'm bringing to the table. So I invite you to go in your job search with this mindset that I'm here to stay and I'm going to find a company that values me and my experience. Don't go with that scarcity mindset that, oh, there are limited jobs, oh, other people are getting jobs and I'm leaving behind. Don't go in with that mindset. Otherwise, it's going to be challenging for you. Second thing I want to say is, so many jobs, most of the jobs in the US, they get filled through relationships, through networking, through your connections. So whoever is planning to apply or planning to start applying for internships or jobs, I invite you to start look around. Who all people are already in your dream job that you know in your own connection on LinkedIn, or somebody you know through your friend or through your relative. So focus more on building relationships and nurturing them over just mindlessly applying online all day long, all night long, because just relying on online application no longer serves our purpose. So you have to be innovative, you have to lean on other people to refer you in the company, to advocate for you. So these are my top two tips for job seekers right now. Is plenty of jobs available in the job market, you just need to put your best foot forward. And then second one is focus more on building relationship over just sitting behind the computer and keep using same resume and keep applying online. That's so ordinary. We want to show them what are we bringing to the table, and online application may not help us get there.
Interesting. I think that's very well resonated with one of the previous speakers also. When we are applying for a job, we need to stand out. We need to do a specific research, and we cannot do the same research for hundreds and thousands of companies. So we need to narrow down our funnel, and that way we can give better quality of application. Very well said. Let's say someone has gotten some luck, in cracking a job, but then getting an interview,
Hmm.
right? So, how do someone plan for their interview and probably crack that interview in one go?
Okay. So interview, so I was a hiring manager in my last job, so I can tell you from both the sides of the table, the mistakes I made as a job seeker or the experience I had as a job seeker, and then what I was looking for when I was a hiring manager. So there are a couple of focus areas that you need to think about when it comes to interview. First is telling your story. No downplaying, no hiding behind other team members or overusing the word we. You have to own your story, no matter, even if you were an intern, you were an unpaid intern, even if it was a class project. Own your story. Tell them what you have done, what was the result. So in interview, my number one suggestion would be, first of all, do company research. Don't walk into that interview not knowing what this company is about, what are their products, what are their competitors, how old is this company. These are basic. Where are their locations, where is their headquarter. These are the basic things you need to know about the company before you walk into an interview. We can't afford to make these mistakes, silly mistakes, like asking them, so what does the company do. So number one tip is research about the company. Your recruiter is going to be your best friend when you are preparing for your interview. Lean on your recruiter and ask them, what should I expect in every round of the interview. So every time you get moved to the interview round, ask them, what should I expect. Do you have any pointers for me while I prepare for the next interview. So ask. Second tip is ask recruiter what to expect in the interview. Number three is connect, be proactive. It's This interview can literally change your life if you walk away with an offer. So invest your time and energy into researching about the company. What is the team, what does the team do, how does the team support the overall organization, what does this role do. So another suggestion would be to connect with people in similar titles in the company you are interviewing, and maybe request for their 15 minutes of time and ask them, hey, I have an interview. How can I better position myself in the hiring process? Can you share your interview experience with me? So even one person says yes, you are getting some insider information. How was that person's interview experience in the exact same role that you are interviewing? So these are some background work, or I would say prep work, that you can do before walking in the interview. And then most important part that we forget is our story. Most of the interviews start with, tell me about yourself. And we can't afford to get blank there. That is our opening statement, that is our moment to shine. And I invite you to practice, tell me about yourself couple of times before walking in that interview. Fine tune it, make sure it's telling a really good story about who you are, what have you done so far, why are you interested in particular role. For international student, my biggest go to strategy is always highlight something that other candidates may not have, which is global exposure. You may have worked in India, even if it's an internship, you may have worked in India. Make sure you are highlighting this. So I always put in my tell me about yourself, my global exposure. Hey, I worked in more than one, I worked in US, I worked in India, and I have a cross cultural exposure. Um, I am very comfortable working with global teams because of my previous experience working in two countries. So find something that's unique about you and put it in your tell me about yourself, because that's going to help you stand out in compared to other candidates.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now I think interviewing tips are definitely helpful because when you're going there's always a one shot, and then some companies have a block period, like you cannot apply again if you have interviewed once, for a considerable amount of time. So now let's understand something very, very basic. What are the most common mistakes or assumptions people have when they, look towards job or when they look towards career options abroad? And what kind of reality check you want to give them? Again, this is not to scare people off, but then they should be aware about what are the real conditions that they should be, accustomed to or they should face going abroad.
Yes, yes. So the number one difference that I have seen is here people value time a lot. So if your interview is at 8 a.m., make sure you reach at 8 a.m. Or even 5-10 minutes before that, because here it's not like, we joke around Indian standard time, we are always like 10-15 minutes late. Here people are very punctual about their time. So please start learning about how to respect time, because even in college, even as a student, in your internship, in your job, if you don't value time or if you don't respect other people's time, probably you are going to uh, get in trouble, I would say. Another thing is, so many times we don't even apply for jobs thinking, oh my god, this company would never sponsor an international student. So all these misconceptions around what company sponsors, what company doesn't sponsor, um, don't let that stop you from applying for jobs. If they have any specific requirements about security clearance, or the candidate must be a US citizen, they are usually so upfront. You will see it in the job description that they are looking for somebody who is a US citizen. But if there is no clarification in the job description, please go ahead and apply, because you don't want to close any door with because of your misconception. There are a couple of sites that I want to share with you all. One is myvisajobs.com and another is h1bdata.info. These are the two sites where you can literally see a list of companies who have sponsored visa to foreign nationals by year. So you can filter it by year, by location, by your job title. So go and check out these websites and see before making any assumptions whether you should apply in this company or not, because you need to apply and then let it flow. Don't close any doors because of you may think they don't sponsor. So number one misconception, Nikhil, that I have seen is I don't want to apply in certain companies because I don't think they sponsor visa. That's not our job to worry. Our job is to put our best foot forward and then go forward in the interview process and navigate the conversation with recruiter or hiring manager. But don't just close the door because you think they don't sponsor. And another thing is, you may feel like, oh, I don't have any full time experience. I don't have any solid internship experience. Why would someone hire me? So I want to tell you that even class projects, even certifications, even assignments, these are the things also are valuable on your resume if you don't have any full time experience. everything boils down to how you are portraying yourself in the interview. Are you able to explain what have you done in all this internship, all these class projects? That all matters. Don't worry if you don't have a full time experience. I didn't have a full time experience, but I walked away with 4 job offers before I even graduated. So this is a big myth that you need to have experience before you get your first job in the US. It's up to you how you are telling your story and how you are highlighting your internship and class projects.
Okay, perfect. I believe that it should be making things a little clear for a lot of students. Because there are mistakes which are irreversible sometimes in the careers. And guys, do not take any of the tips lightly, because a lot of you might do one of the two mistakes. Some might be unavoidable because you might have already done it, but some at least you can still save. So let's talk a little bit about the current job trends. How post pandemic the job situations have been in US, and how are the immigration scenario being improved for the international students.
Sure. So, many companies are going remote now. So many roles you would see that they are remote. There is optional relocation. So, I'm seeing a lot of flexibility post pandemic, that companies are not like, most of the companies are not making it like mandatory to sit in the office. People are being very flexible. Most of the companies are going hybrid approach. So, you can come in office for a few days, you can work from home for a few days. So many companies are like literally going remote, 100% remote. So there is a sudden increase in remote roles in last 6 months, I would say, that I have noticed in the market. One another thing, want to reiterate that companies are hiring left and right. There are some companies, they are literally on hiring spree. You would see like 50 opening in that company, and same role for multiple teams. So please don't feel like there are no jobs. There are, of course, there are so many job openings. You just need to find the one that is suitable for you. Another is, um, I heard a lot of rumors about STEM extension, OPT STEM extension is going away and all. I don't think it's going away anytime soon. Life is as usual. I haven't seen any solid visa restrictions around international students. Everything is exactly how it used to be as of today. And companies are sponsoring visa. My I would say 50% of my clients this year got picked up in lottery, and they are on their way to get H1B. I want to tell everybody is, when you start working, see the big picture. Make sure your communication is clear with your company about what is your visa status and how soon you will need sponsorship. So make sure with recruiter and hiring manager you are upfront. Don't try to dodge that question and say, let me get a job offer, I'll figure out the visa conversation later. Because I have seen so many people going on wrong path because they didn't approach this question during the hiring process. Now companies are saying, oh, we didn't know this, oh, we didn't know that. So make sure your immigration status is clear the day you sign your offer letter. That's something you shouldn't hide, because it's going to come and bite you eventually. So make sure you are transparent about how soon you will need a sponsorship. But there are plenty of companies, they are sponsoring H1B every year. So I would say pandemic has not changed how international students are getting jobs. Of course, in a positive way, now there are more and more remote jobs.
Got it. Okay. So let's take up now a few questions, because I think a lot of people have started posting questions, and a lot of people are taking rumors for granted. Like, one question I can see in the comment is, someone is trusting Quora's information of a company's hiring or not. I would recommend, do not trust any social media platform, because all these could be rumors. Better is to write to companies or go to LinkedIn, where the employee details and data is there, and that's where you can get an authentic information. Rest is all on you to trust or not. Okay, so one question is there. Okay, Aneri, would you be able to share the names of the websites that you clearly mentioned on the private chat? So I'll stream it to the audience. Okay.
Yes. Yes, it's
Um,
myvisajobs.com
my Yep.
and H1B.
Yep.
H1bdata.info. And I have personally tried these two websites. The information is legit. Every time companies file for their employees H1B, they have to disclose this information um, um, publicly, and that's where these two websites get information from.
Interesting. Okay, so now there's one interesting question asked by Lalit. Are the odds stacked against us if we are an international student seeking a job? Very common question, honestly.
Yes. So there is no right or wrong answer here. I would like to explain it this way. It's everything is here. If you come with a mindset that okay, odds are going to be against me, then things are just going to play out that way. I know that's a slightly philosophical answer, but I don't think companies in my personal journey and my clients' journeys, I don't think companies discriminate against whether you are an international student or a foreign national. Yes, some companies' stand is very clear that because of their internal policies and rules, they are not open to sponsorship, and they will be upfront in the first screening process. So yes, international students may face some difficulties breaking through in interview rounds or even getting a call, because if you apply online, there are questions like, do you now or in future need sponsorship from this company to work for this company? And then of course, when you are an international student, you may pick yes because in future you'll need sponsorship. You may pick no. There is a debate here whether what you should put, but my understanding is companies probably will not call you if they do not have appetite to sponsor your visa. So yes, there is slight disadvantage here that so many times the previous company I worked for, their stand was very clear. They didn't want to sponsor anybody. So they will first look for local candidates. And if they can't find local candidates who are qualified enough for those roles, then they may open it up to sponsorship, but not for every company. Like if you look at FAANG companies, if you look at Fortune 100 companies, they're sponsoring visa left and right. So everything boils down to, are you able to communicate what value you are bringing to the table? Don't think about odds. You come here and you put your best foot forward. Everything will eventually play out. Yes, there is always some disadvantage because you need sponsorship, but so many companies are open to hire international students.
Absolutely. I think that should be, the motivation for you to apply. Else, there's no point going abroad and looking for the job that way. So, one interesting question has been asked with Sir, and there's two back-to-back questions. If I have gotten an admit from a top university versus, let's say, second best university on that note, or some lower rank university, does companies have preferences while recruiting, especially regarding to brand, or does a location matter even if a tier 2 university is around Silicon Valley?
Okay. So what I'm going to share, Nikhil, is my personal opinion. I don't think ranking matters. I don't think companies care about the brand unless you are in top 10. Of course, top 10 matters. But other than that, I don't think we should worry about, oh, I'm in 54 rank college versus I'm in 110 rank college. All this ranking, I don't know who came up with all these crazy ranking ideas. But honestly, as a hiring manager, I don't even care what university you graduated from, as long as you are able to demonstrate what are your skills and how are you a good fit for the role I'm hiring. So now I think there were two questions here. So should you go for CMU, or should you take a slightly lower ranking university with full scholarship? I would say, do first of all, of course, finance is major aspect of your international student journey. Secondly, look at the coursework. Don't go by rankings, please. Rankings don't mean a lot when it comes to hiring. Look at the course and all the courses they are offering under program, which one aligns better for you, and that should be the decision. Course and finances, these two according to me should be the decision making factor, not the ranking, unless it's top 10. That's number one. And number two, I think they ask location. So up to some aspects location matters, because there are so many on campus career fair, there are so many volunteering opportunity if you are in prime location. So try to go in a prime location where there are companies in your field. So like Silicon Valley, if you're a computer science grad, you should definitely take admission in Silicon Valley area, because there are so many companies. Chances are there you have better exposure, better networking opportunity, better shot at companies coming in for campus recruitment. So in that aspect, location is important as well. And just as a case study, I want to throw in my experience. So I got a job in Fortune 500 company, which is like which built the fastest private jet in the world. And they didn't even know where my UT Arlington was. They did not know anything about my university. At that point, nowhere in the interview process in 7 rounds, they brought up my university. They were so focused on what was my curriculum, what courses did I take, what internships did I do. They were so focused on the value I was bringing to the table over what was the university's brand name or ranking. So that's another misconception I would say in student community, is we get hung up on ranking. That is not fair. Focus more on coursework and location and finances.
Interesting. Okay. So guys, if you are listening to this, to understand this, ranking has a lot less to do with your job options or kind of education you are going to do. It's more have a lot of commercial aspects to it, which may not be directly related to your education. Frankly, had chance to study in like top 15 Canada, top 15 US, top 15 Australia, but then I aim to choose something which is more closely related to my goals and the future prospect of that particular degree in a particular country. So when you're picking up a degree, do not just fantasize about the degree. Degree is just a means to an end. If your end is clear, then whatever degree that you're picking up would suffice the purpose. Okay, so I think there's one interesting question which has been asked by. Okay, let me check this out. Yeah, by Kirti. Someone is doing an unpaid internship. Can you please suggest how can one improve themselves if they want to work in a multinational company? What are the traits usually multinational companies look for, and how does the scouting process can be, cracked? Because there is always a regular application line which they stream it. Where you already told like there are thousands of people who are going to apply, but then how do someone with a more, I would say, aggressive application strategy with more efforts can stand out?
Sure. Yeah, that's an interesting question. So whether you are doing an unpaid internship or paid internship doesn't matter. Internship is internship when you are applying for a next job. So I want to tell you is focus more on your storytelling aspect. Are you able to explain them what did you do in this internship? What's your why? What's driving you to apply for that next role? What transferable skills are you bringing? So what I mean by transferable skills is no matter how small your internship was, how entry level it was, there are some skills that you developed or refined in that internship. Are you able to communicate that well in your application process for that next job? Like anytime somebody is seeing your application, what's in it for them? So highlight what are you bringing from your internship to this multinational company, no matter how small that skill is. So focus more on what did you learn in that internship, and make sure your resume highlights your accomplishments, the results that you drove as an intern in that company, that aligns with the role you are applying. And then Nikhil, you asked like what are other ways other than just applying online. can't emphasize enough on the importance of relationship building. So I'll give you an example. Uh, if you apply in Google, there may be 2,000 applications, online applications. So you are like just one of those 2,000 people. Now, probably there are 500 people out of this who had referral. Still, you are still standing in a line, probably little ahead, but you are still in a line. But think of if you had developed a professional relationship through LinkedIn or through common connections somewhere. Think of if you had an advocate in this company for you. So people always confuse, okay, I got a referral that can get me an interview. It's not true in every aspect, because it literally takes me 5 minutes to refer a candidate in my company, but you are still in line. What you need is advocates in your dream companies, where let's say I'm working in your dream company, you build a really good rapport with me over the time, and now you are engaging on my content, you are talking to me, you are following the recommendations that I'm giving you and messaging me with the results. Hey, the other day you posted this, I implemented that, and I this is the result I got. Like, you are nurturing that relationship over the time to a point that I can vouch for you in the company I'm working. And then eventually I'm walking to the hiring manager, giving your resume and say, you need to interview this person, otherwise you are missing out on a talent. And that's how you skip this entire line and directly walk into an interview. 2 weeks ago, my client got a job that she did not even apply. She got a verbal offer, and then they said, as a formality, can you just submit your online application? So I would say online application, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't just rely on online application. Talk to people in your dream company, talk to people in your dream role, and don't expect any overnight results, but keep nurturing those relationship over 3 months, 6 months. Keep talking to them, keep complimenting them, keep following their advice that they are posting on social media platforms. And that's how you build that rapport with this person, and eventually walk up to them and ask them, you are interested in applying in their company, this is the exact role, this is the link, and how do I put my best foot forward? And they will say, I'll oh, can you all hear me?
I think there is a lag. Uh, Guys, can you hear her? If you can, please text a yes on the comment. Hello.
I can hear you, Nikhil.
Yeah, I think your video kind of froze, and there was. Okay, perfect. I think people can hear you, so it's probably my end. So, yeah, we can continue on this.
Okay, yeah, just want to summarize the long answer is, what other things can you do to stand out in your dream company's application process? Don't just rely on online application. That's just one way. Talk to people in your dream company, in your dream role, but do not expect any overnight turnaround. Don't just walk up to people and say, can you refer me? Nurture that relationship over the time to a point that they are comfortable walking with your resume to the hiring manager and say, please interview this person, I guarantee that you'll like this person. So that's the most efficient way to stand out in the hiring process, is to know key decision maker in those companies.
Interesting. So, there's another very interesting question that has been asked by Sheikh Mohammed. Does 10-12 percentage matters in Fortune 500 companies, or let's say for any companies in usual for the hiring process?
Okay. So, Nikhil, I don't know a lot about how things work in India, because I haven't worked full time in India. Because I know in job campus placement, you need to have certain grade marks, like 60 plus or 55 percentage above, to sit in those on campus placement for multinational companies. But if I'm talking about like Fortune, like here in the US, I think there is some feedback. Okay, so if you talk about Fortune 500 companies, like if you're talking about corporate America, 10th marks, 12th grades, even your bachelor's, master's GPA doesn't matter. People hardly ask what's your GPA during the application. Like they do ask as a formality, but they don't go in 10th and 12th. So I'm just going to be very candid here. My GPA sucked. I barely graduated. I was a 2.8 student all my MBA. And then I barely graduated with 3.0, which is the minimum requirement to graduate for an international student. It did not bother me during the hiring process. Nobody asked. So if you think you didn't do well in 10th and 12th, don't worry at all. Corporate America doesn't care what was your 10th or 12th or even undergrad or master's GPA or score.
Perfect. So I think this answered the question. So one interesting question which has been also asked. Okay, so this might be a little off track, but let's try this. So Utkarsh has asked something about Canada. Do you also have an insight about Canada as of now? How the overall Northern America is performing in terms of jobs?
Yes, actually, my best friend just got job in. She's a computer science graduate, and she just got job in Canada, in Deloitte. So, same, just like United States, Canadian companies are also hiring. Of course, there is a competitive market. So many candidates for one job. So everything boils down to how are you presenting yourself? How are you actually applying for jobs? Make sure you know few people in those companies before you apply, because that will help you stand out more. But yes, a short answer is computer science graduates. Canada has plenty of jobs. So many companies that are in US have presence in Canada as well. So overall, a good market for computer science graduates. I think I can read the question. What should be a conversation starter?
Yeah.
What should be a conversation starter to reach out in order to build a relationship with the hiring manager? So when you are talking to a hiring manager who is actively filling for a specific role, then I would say rather than relying on small conversations and focusing more on relationship building, I think you should, if it's a recruiter or if it's a hiring manager, you should directly come to the point. Here is the job. I recently found out that you are actively looking to you are hiring for XYZ job. Always give them the job ID and the role name, and then start with how did you find out about this opportunity? Why are you interested in, mainly why are you interested in applying for this job, and what are you bringing to the table? Make sure you are talking about your relevant experience or coursework that they are looking for in the job description. So that's how you should approach the hiring manager. Always keep it to the point, because they are receiving hundreds of messages every day since they are actively hiring. Tell them why are you applying for a job, and why do you think you are a good fit. Tell them everything that aligns with what they are looking for.
Okay. Perfect. So there's one, I would say, little bit of a concern question by one of the student. Um, so a lot of people say that it's very easy when we kind of look towards building connect, but in reality it's not as easy as it's too easy to say, but to do it might take a lot of time, right? So
Yes.
how can we build it? What could be the basic starting point, that and what is the usual time frame that we see it? But before you give out answers, let me give a disclaimer to all of people. There is no rule book to this. Understand this, that when you are building relationships in real life, do you follow a formula? There is no formula to a lot of things, right? This is all human connect. Despite you trying so hard, someone may not like you. That is also expected. Despite you trying so less, and someone may like you in the upfront first conversation, that is also true. So this is human, and humans are complex species. So there is not going to be a playbook. So do not just copy paste things, but try to understand how natural and empathetic your conversation could be, and try to genuinely care about the conversation that you are going to make with the people. Over to you, Aneri.
Sure. Yeah, I love how you described it, Nikhil. You exactly your advice is spot on. To add on to that, I want to tell you that so many times we may not hear back when we approach people and we feel discouraged. Oh my God, I reached out to 15 people, nobody is replying. One of the major problem could be because we are coming off as too needy or too desperate. So the key is you start developing connections, genuine connections, way before when you are looking for a job. Because one day you wake up on Monday and say, from today onwards I'm starting to look for a job, and then today you fire 15 messages and say, hey, I need your help, I need your guidance. I Don't go to people needing something. That would be my number one advice. Always start early. If you are sitting in India right now and you are coming in fall, start now. Start genuinely connecting with people, and when you reach out to people, put spotlight on them. Make them the hero of the conversation. Hey, Nikhil, I came across your LinkedIn profile and I saw your career progression journey from point A to point B. Incredible. You are giving me some major goals. Say something nice about them. I'm not saying flatter, like, say something fake, or don't be dishonest, but genuinely compliment them how far they have come, and tell them what really attracted you towards them. That's the most genuine you can be in a conversation. Do not Do you ask someone to marry you on a first date? No. So same thing applies to networking and relationship building on LinkedIn or online. You don't ask for something when you meet somebody for the first time. They don't even know you. So spend some time, be patient, and talk to them, nurture this lead. Eventually it will convert into something meaningful, and it may or may not. But don't go to somebody needing something or expecting something out of the conversation. Genuinely talk to people, genuinely learn about their journey, and see what can you learn from them.
Interesting. I think a lot of people would have gotten this advice, and this kind of advice works even in India. So, even if you're not going to study abroad and you're going to find your next job in India, trust me, this works. I can give you a live testimony. I myself gotten, after my undergrad, at least more than 20 job offers just because of good relationship building on LinkedIn. Definitely, you need to be talented, you need to have some skills to be able to fulfill that kind of a job. But even with a percentage of skill which is not there, but your commitment and your good relationship would ensure the trust among the recruiters that yes, he or she is the right person to for the job, because they are more committed, they are you know taking that extra mile to do the job, to do that effort. And if you can showcase that, most of the recruiters, including myself, because I'm also hiring at foreign admins for a lot of roles, we love that kind of candidates, because those are the people who would definitely work for the company and for the same goal, and we would want them to stay and stick with us for a longer period of time. So I think with this, we come to the end of the session. Thank you, Aneri, for joining in and sharing so much of value insights. I could not emphasize that this session would be would be cherished for a long, long period of time, at least on our YouTube channel. And a lot of people who are missing out on what we discussed. We've discussed very, very critical topics about international jobs, approaching to recruiter, writing to recruiter, finding jobs, the processes, the etiquettes, and so much more. You should go back to the session and figure out what it can help you with. And if you really like this session, do take a screenshot, share it with your friends, tag us on social media, and let us know that you really like this session. Thank you, Aneri, for joining in for today. It was really insightful to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Nikhil, and thank you everybody for hanging out with us and asking interesting questions.
So, guys, with this, we have come to the end of the pre conference week two. And tomorrow is going to be the last day of the pre conference week two. And after that, we got two super duper amazing days, 24th and 25th of July. Do not miss it. I repeat, it would be a regret if you miss those 2 days. Amazing people, amazing mentors. We got Australian trade commissions who can answer the most authentic information what's happening in Australia for study abroad. We got all the top German candidates, we got European candidates, we got US candidates, Australian candidates, Canadian candidates, and so many other mentors. We got Chevening Scholar, we got Erasmus Mundus Scholar, we got Danish State Scholar, we got full funded MBA Scholar, all for you in 2 days from morning 9 to evening 5. It's going to be all day long event. So grab your popcorns or Coke, whatever. I would recommend water, but whatever you want, grab it, sit, make notes, learn. Because those 2 days will never going to come back, at least for the next 1 year. And the speakers are well sought. These are amazing global speakers from all over the world. We are going to discuss how to write an SOP. We're going to discuss how to write your resume. We're going to discuss how to get a job in US, UK, Canada, Australia. We're going to discuss a lot about immigration. We're going to discuss how you can crack your scholarships. A lot of those things. You are writing comments, what you don't know, this plus this. If you're planning to get into diploma in mechanical in Canada, we got the PG diploma experts on the panel on 24th and 25th. So do not miss these sessions. These sessions are going to be high value oriented for all of you. Where you can find them, just subscribe to YouTube channel of Foreign Admits, hit the bell icon, you would get a reminder of these sessions. 24th, 25th, we got all these sessions. Tomorrow, we have a special session on personal finance, finance management, forex, and remittance by an expert speaker from international student, MoneyHop. So MoneyHop has been a kind sponsor also, but their founder has been really amazing. And if you want to learn about personal finance, finance management, and want to save your bucks when you're planning to study abroad, you should attend tomorrow's session. Again, the link is there on our YouTube channel. Go there, set a reminder so that you do not miss it. The YouTube channel goes with a simple name, Foreign Admits. I'm just going to share it. It's there in the description below. Subscribe to Foreign Admits and you will not miss out on any of these updates. If you're not part of a Telegram community, do join the Telegram community. But before we go to next session, let me share with you one big update. Yeah, I'm always sharing all the big updates at the end. I know a lot of people jump off the session, but that's going to be their loss. I can't help you on that. But whoever has been loyal and stuck, all those 28, 29 people, the big update is go to the mentor conference website, foreignadmins.com/mentor conference 2021, or go to foreignadmins.com and click on mentor conference button. You would see exclusive giveaways only for all of you attendees, none other, only for the attendees who have registered for mentor conference. Go there, register for mentor conference, and get your assured free gift. That's been something given by a lot of our sponsors, believers, supporters, you name it, we have it, right? And if someone has missed this session, it's already there on our YouTube. It's going to be there for a while on our YouTube. So do ensure that you subscribe to our YouTube. You get an access to these sessions for sure. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining in. I hope you learned a lot and all the best for your next job. PS, we are also hiring. So why don't you connect to me? Thank you.
Visit us today.
So the first question was why higher education, right? Okay. So why higher education? The study and the base that we have developed in bachelor's is not really enough.
Rather than actually talking about the purpose, they actually reprint their resume there.
But yeah, you have just involved. What impact did you create? What was substantial growth
Was there any kind of a consistency in that activity?
Product manager needs to be relationship building and communication in terms of the fact that it has to be very clear what. So